off you go.
Okay, my presentation is going to be on Fargo. First, I'm going to look at the technical analysis of it regarding camera. There are many shot types used in it. For example, close-up, extreme close-up, and mid-shot all show the characterization of the different people in it. Although there's a limited cast actually in the clip, it's important in regards to the film because it shows the change in the kidnappers, and it really reveals their own characters. The directors use extreme long shots and establishing shots, as well as a tracking shot, to show the isolation of the area, which is a technique they've used in other films such as No Country for Old Men and in parts of Raising Arizona as well. They use high and low angles to portray power. For example, when one of the kidnappers is talking to the policeman, and this is powerful because power is a main theme of the whole film. So the fact that they use camera to show this, they're actually using different mediums. They're not just using the uniform of the policeman, which is red and implies danger. They're not just using the situation that it's dark and it's isolated. They're actually using technical aspects to show the danger that the kidnappers are coming into. This is also shown when the second kidnapper, the blonde kidnapper, chases the witnesses who have just driven by. There's a tilted angle as he shoots her, as he stands up to shoot her, and that again shows vulnerability and power. The sound and editing of it goes with the shots in that they use several different types of sound to create the mood. They use dialogue between the second kidnapper and the policeman, which shows their character and their weaknesses. Really, he's trying to bribe the policeman and he doesn't get away with it. So it shows that there are flaws within the characters. They use high volumes for the gunshots and the tense music when the second kidnapper is chasing the witnesses. These are the pivotal moments in the clip, so it really gets the audience's attention and dominates you while you're watching it. They use low volume with voices and, for example, when the blonde kidnapper tells the other kidnapper to get the body off the road, he's very casual. And again, they use sound as well as camera angle to show characterization because he's just not bothered about the situation they're in. They use accentuated sounds as well as high volume in the car chase and with the girl's breathing before she's shot, so again in pivotal moments. Editing, they use fast cuts to show the tension and the urgency. For example, when the kidnapper's driving, they cut from the road and the headlights to the face, and after the shooting, they cut straight to blackness. They have an eye line match, which is rare for the shot. It's the only one in the shot where the kidnapper is smoking, and it allows you to be on a level with him, and it's interesting because that's the point where you really see his character. Regarding mise-en-scène, they use colours such as red, black and white, which are red is quite usually signifies danger, and black and white they use regarding the snow and the road and the fact that it's nighttime to show the isolation. The lighting is interesting because it's headlights, so it shows that it's rural and that they don't have street lights all over the place. The setting is outdoors, which shows the loneliness, and non-verbal communication as well as costume is important because an example of non-verbal communication is when the kidnapper's chasing the witnesses and he leans forward, which is the only point in which we see any urgency from him. They use props such as the gun, the car and the cigarette as active props to show character, usually with the blonde kidnapper, the fact that he's willing to kill someone. And the costume is interesting because the witnesses are one's dressed in, I think, sports clothes, and the other's dressed in a pink fluffy jacket. So they're quite stereotypical, just normal people driving along, which shows that they're a direct contrast to the kidnappers that are wearing quite nondescript clothes. Again, there's the blood from when the policeman is shot, which makes it almost comical, which is another feature. I'm going to talk now about the genre, which ties into the blood. The blood they use, for example, just after the policeman gets shot, there's a fountain of blood, and it's a thriller and it's a crime, but it's also got elements of humour in there. For example, the failure of the kidnapper to bribe the policeman, which makes me believe that it isn't just a thriller or a crime, it's actually a Coen Brothers auteur film. They use generic storylines such as in No Country for Old Men here, as well as financial motivation, and there are weaknesses in the characters. And they often use stereotypical women as well to show the weaknesses of the men, which shows that they have, although they use generic genres, they actually have their own trend in films of different themes we can see throughout their films. Narrative-wise, it is linear, it is restrictive, and I think that's why it appeals to the target audience. From my research, I saw that it mainly appeals to males of 18 to 25, and because the film is certificate 18, I think it would appeal to them because of the violence and because there are small elements of humour in there, seen in the wider context of the film, not just the clip. There is Jerry is quite a humorous character. The fact that he fails a lot to do what he sets out to do, and that this plan, which could have gone quite smoothly, has just gone terribly wrong. There are also people in there that could appeal to the audience. For example, Frances McDormand was in Raising Arizona, also by the Coen brothers, and she also often plays stereotypical female roles, by which I mean in Fargo she's playing a police chief, which isn't necessarily a female role that you would usually associate with women, but I think she plays it in a way that makes her look like the typical female, or what's perceived as the stereotype, quite ditzy. She's also pregnant in Fargo, so I think the reason they've used her again and again is because she appeals to their auteur. She has this ability to play a stereotype but make a twist on it, which is a theme you can see in different Coen Brothers films, as I've said. I believe it's less popular with women, possibly due to the violence, and also I think because of the portrayal of women. From seeing different Coen Brothers films, I think they use women as a tool to see the weaknesses in men, and although the women first come across as weak, for example, in another part of the film where Jerry's wife is trying to escape and she's blindfolded and she's running all over the place, we don't really focus on the fact that it is a light point in the film, it adds humour, but we don't really focus on that as the main part of the scene. We look at the reactions of the kidnappers. So the women are really there to show the characters of the men. In social and historical perspective, as well as the target audience, it's actually attracted 2 BAFTAs, 1 Oscar, and several Academy Awards. It was directed by Joel Coen, so it won a Cannes Award for direction, and as I've said, Frances McDormand has been used in several of their films, but she also won Best Actress, and there was another Best Director award for Joel Coen. So it shows the popularity of the film. And I think we can see in the money that it grossed that this isn't just another film in their repertoire, it is a pivotal film. Its budget was $7 million and it grossed $24 million. So it over tripled their original budget over time. So I think that, again, knowing that fact, it would appeal to different people, and the humour that they use in it as well, I think would enable it to be accessible to anyone.